You have to be more committed to your calling than to being comfortable. Hi, welcome back to the Barista Witch channel. It is me, your host, Misha. And today in my chats, I missed yesterday, which is annoying. At first I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm an honest gal. I got a little busy. I'm studying for the LSATs. This is a one-woman show over here. I work many jobs teaching yoga, but I have to be more committed to my calling than to my comfort. Part of being uncomfortable yesterday was not being able to fulfill my duty of honoring my commitment here. But I had other things to do. I had to make my coin elsewhere. But we're back, and you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. As a yogi, as an Ashtanga yoga practitioner, I am quite often in exceedingly uncomfortable positions. Legs behind the head. Okay, I don't want this to take a turn. But like some of the poses, the postures are uncomfortable. Waking up at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday to go all the way over to the shala to practice with my teacher is uncomfortable. But it's my calling. It is my calling to be a yogi. It's quite literally in my chart to be a yogi, a yoga practitioner and a yoga teacher. It's in my chart to be a lawyer. If you want to know if you have any of these combinations in your chart, check out the link in the description box. We can book a reading, etc., etc. I can send you a little PDF of what your chart is, blah, 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 blah. But at some point in my life, at least, I can't speak for you, but I had to sit with myself and realize, like, one, I was uncomfortable just in general with the season of my life that I was in. I didn't like how things were going. I didn't like just the general trajectory. I felt quite stagnant, like, nothing was doing anything, and nothing changes if nothing changes. So I made a point to start actively going to my teacher to do Ashtanga yoga, not just doing it in my home. That was uncomfortable for me to change my schedule, to change my life. How easy is it for me to just simply roll out of, hi, Mango. Hi, baby. But how easy is it for me to, simply, hold on, I'm actually going to do a rare moment where I show part of my apartment because I just want to show you how cute Mango is right now. But how easy is it for me to roll out of bed, hi, mama. How you doing? What's up, baby? But how easy is it for me to, just like Mango, wake up from a little nap and just simply come down the stairs so that I can do my practice, versus putting in the time, the effort, the energy to commute, get on the train early as fuck to go practice with my teacher, who I know is going to challenge me. My teacher isn't going to let me, rest in certain poses or cut corners or etc. I have to be uncomfortable. It also meant that I had to modify my schedule a bit and turn down some work opportunities in order to do it, which meant, turning down some financial opportunities, which wasn't the most pleasurable thing, but I had to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I had to be more committed with my calling. And my calling is to eventually, become an authorized Ashtanga yoga teacher. That means going to India for periods of time in at least minimum 4 weeks, leaving my home, being in a different country amongst different languages and cultures, and just putting myself in a different situation. As I said before, nothing changes if nothing changes. I had to get comfortable with the fact, or uncomfortable with the fact, that my yoga lifestyle, while it is fulfilling, is not as financially fruitful as my lifestyle demands, requires, wants, Sure, I can have this life for myself and for my cats, but if I ever eventually want to get married and have children, that's not an option, College tuition isn't founded on a yoga teacher salary. It's not unless you're one of those people who travels around the world teaching yoga, which I have zero desire to do. Not to say that I won't ever do it, but right now in my life, I don't really see that being an option or something I want to do. But what in your life, what is your calling? And what do you have to do to be more committed to your calling than to being comfortable? Sometimes it means staying up a little bit late or going to bed early, waking up early, like sacrificing certain aspects. I've been tired, so sleepy this past week and a half, but I've been so happy. I've been really productive. I've been getting my work done. I'm still getting enough sleep to make sure that I'm like healthy and, I'm not going to like pass out or anything, but it's not the most comfortable thing to wake up at 5 a.m. consistently, but it's what I have to do to be committed to my calling. So what areas of your life do you have to be a little willing to be uncomfortable? Over the pandemic, there was this push towards going against hustle culture and resting and fuck capitalism, which I agree with all of those sentiments to a point. Because after a certain point, now I see the aftermath of that a lot of people are, and some of this is no way, shape, or form like their fault or responsibility, just it's the economy. But there's a lot of people now complaining about not having any money. And then when I actually do speak to some of these individuals, I'm like, oh, okay, well, what are you doing like in your life? Like, are you applying for work? Like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, well, I applied on LinkedIn and Indeed and da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, well, have you gotten any responses? No. Okay. Have you considered calling those places? What? I have to pick up the phone and talk to someone? I have anxiety. I'm sorry. Stop. That may be true. And do you want a job? Nothing changes if nothing changes. If sending all of these applications online isn't working, pick up the phone. Send an email. Crazy idea. Go in person. Speak to the people. You want to eventually work there. You have to at some point interact with the person. Go into the physical space. So do that. The pushback I get, you don't understand. Then your life is going to stay the same. Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort for your calling? Sometimes it just comes with the territory. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And there's also this realization too of like, it's not forever. Is this going to be forever? No, it's not forever, but it's just until you succeed in your goal. You have to do things that are a bit different. Think about the Olympians, those incredible athletes, those individuals training to bring home the gold. They're not in training 365. They have periods of rest where they're done training after the event and they live their lives. They're with their wives, their husbands, their children, their family. But for a period of time while they are training, they are uncomfortable. They're working their minds, their bodies, their spirits to like just the 110th degree. But they're sacrificing their comfort for their calling. At some point, the call is coming from inside of the house, beloved. I don't know if this is a tough love situation. I feel like this is a bit of a tough love situation. We have an eclipse on Friday. If you are watching this today, on Tuesday, the 25th of August, there's an eclipse coming up. And this eclipse is in Shatabisha. There might be, depending on where you're watching this, the video of me doing it might already be up. But this is an eclipse of unveiling things, unearthing things, shedding light on things, unrestricting yourself. The symbol is this like circle, that's bound circle. And sometimes there's this like restrictiveness that comes with Shatabisha, this placement that is uncomfortable. And this is an eclipse, like eclipses bring about sudden changes. So sometimes you have to be committed to your calling, doing something completely out of the box, doing something completely new, doing something that's going to actually change your life and impact you. Make a 1 degree shift. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Maybe you just commit to a week of waking up early to do the thing, going to bed early to do the thing, putting down your vape, you have to be more committed to your calling. What do you want more? Your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, or do you want your comfort? the time is going to pass anyway. Like it simply is. And you can stay day after day falling into your routine, doing the same thing, or you can make a little shift that makes you uncomfortable, you know? Exercise. As a yoga teacher, I just immediately kind of default to that analogy and that example. It's not comfortable. Working out is not comfortable. You're literally, what is it like? I think in order to grow muscle, you're literally like tearing your muscle fibers, and then the new muscle kind of grows between to make it bigger. It's deeply uncomfortable. You're sweating, it's hot, like you're sore, you're tired, you're hungry, your diet is changing, your clothes are changing. But if your calling is to be a more healthy version of yourself, whatever that looks like for you, you have to be more committed to your calling than to your comfort. I invite you, I challenge you to, just for the next week, while we're in this eclipse cycle, try something different. Try something that makes you uncomfortable. Interact with, maybe, if you're wanting to form community. I see so many times, especially when I'm streaming, people saying, I want to form community, I want community. But then they're too afraid to actually like go out in public and like talk to someone. Community is more than just online. I think community should be offline, and then you form groups online as well to further it. But we have to please get back to meeting and talking to people in real life. If you're in like fucking Topeka, Kansas, or somewhere where you don't have the opportunity, this isn't about you. Nuance, please. I mean, you could tell I'm just tired. I'm tired of catering to being overly sensitive on the internet. I'm very sick of it. I'm very tired of it. I'm sick of policing my own language to honestly make Gen Z feel more comfortable. I'm a millennial. I'm 34 years old. Don't get it twisted. I'm not fucking Gen Z. I don't have any beef in particular with Gen Z, but just as I make content and post specifically on TikTok, I've gotten in this period of where I found myself like self-editing and making myself uncomfortable and not doing my calling, which is to share just information, because I find that, and this is something that I'm working on, I find that the internet has gotten so overly toxic and negative, especially ever since TikTok was purchased by like the American company. People will post a video, oh, I just got accepted into my dream college. Oh, well, some of us can't even afford school. Like, shut the fuck up. Or, oh, me and my husband finally are taking our honeymoon after 15 years of marriage. We finally put our kids through school and, put my parents in their nursing home, and we scrimped and saved, and we're taking a little trip somewhere. Must be nice. Oh, I'm doing a grocery haul. Some of us can't afford. It's gotten so toxic that I find, I won't speak for other people, that I feel uncomfortable sometimes sharing things. I'm uncomfortable sharing. But part of me feels called and compelled just to constantly make videos and to talk and to share personal experiences with people and to try to relate to people and talk to other Black women who are witchy and weird and like tarot and astrology and yoga, and try to find my own community. But it's uncomfortable sifting through the bullshit. And a lot of it is, sorry, but like weird, racist Gen Z or boomers. They're one and the same. So if you fall under that demographic, keep scrolling. If you are in the demographic of being fucking awesome and a badass bitch who just wants to form community, millennial Black women, subscribe, drop a comment, share with other friends, please. But you have to be a little uncomfortable to be committed to your calling. Another thing is when I'm talking to other Black women who I know, and they ask me like another sensitive topic with the Black community is our hair, which I'm just like, why is that even sensitive? It's our hair. I know why. There's other nuance. There's other obviously things. But I'm just like, for fuck's sake. But I always get asked about my locks, my lock journey. I locked my hair in 2020, and I actually cut off like 5 inches of my locks of just like I had a lot of buildup, whatever. But I speak to a lot of women who don't feel comfortable wearing their natural hair. But a lot of these women also want to be like beauty influencers and be in the health and wellness space. And not to say that you can't be a beauty influencer and not wear your natural hair. Of course, you could do whatever you want. And I do see that there's this desire, this deep desire, just to wear natural hair, wear a fro, wear curls, wear your locks, just wear your natural, unprocessed hair. And they're uncomfortable to do this. And that sucks. Because I could tell that for some of these women, their calling genuinely is to share like health and wellness, like beauty tips and tricks to other Black women in the community. It's like genuinely their fucking calling. Like if you talk to them about like, what's your favorite like face mask? Like, what's your favorite hair mask? But for some reason they're uncomfortable. And I'm just like, but what if you were just committed more to your calling than to your comfort and just see what happens? Just see what happens. That whole expression of step outside of your comfort zone is a saying for a reason. I constantly, when I would be editing videos, would constantly edit out my breaths. I would edit out weird, like not weird, but like pauses. I would have edited out that I would have edited out my little burp. But I don't give a shit anymore. I'm more committed just to being authentic. You can listen to a human being be a human for 30 minutes. I myself can tolerate myself being a human being for 30 minutes. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Please, for your own sake. You don't want to look back, God willing, if you live to be 70, 80, 90 years old, look at your life and realize that you just played it safe because you were too afraid of stepping outside of the box and looking weird or making yourself seem like a fool. Who gives a shit? Please don't let other people who are more comfortable criticizing complete strangers on the internet for being brave and taking a chance and taking a risk and doing something different and innovative and cool. Don't let those people stop you from following your calling. Those people don't know what the fuck they're doing. Otherwise, they would be doing it. The only people who go on the internet and criticize other people for trying, for taking a chance, the only people who criticize that are fucking losers. They are just losers. They lose. They don't try. They don't take risks. So don't live your life based off of feeling like embarrassed for doing something different. Be uncomfortable. Just do it. The Nike, just do it. Okay, this video is not going to be 30 minutes long because I am tired and I need to go study for the LSATs and I need to economize my time. But with that being said, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. If you do want to step outside of your comfort zone, if you do want to follow your calling, I can help you in a few ways. One, go to my website. Just peruse and look around and see what the fuck is there. Link is in the bio. 2, go to my Patreon. Peruse and look around. See what the fuck is there. 3, drop a comment. Subscribe. Like the video. Support your local Black creator. I love you dearly. Remember, be more committed to your calling than to your comfort. Start to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Bye-bye.